She secretly hated Charlton Heston, and the reason will shock you. Charlton Heston was born John Charles Carter on October 4, 1923, in Wilmette, Illinois, was an American actor whose career spanned over 6 decades and whose contributions to film, theater, and even politics made him a towering figure in Hollywood history. From an early age, Heston exhibited a passion for acting, which eventually led him to become one of the most recognizable and respected actors of his time. With a commanding screen presence, deep voice, and physical prowess, he became synonymous with epic films and larger-than-life characters. His role as Moses in The Ten Commandments, 1956, and his portrayal of Judah Ben-Hur in the Oscar-winning film Ben-Hur, 1959, solidified his status as one of Hollywood's greatest leading men. Heston's career was not only defined by his box office success, but also by his commitment to storytelling through dramatic, historical, and action-packed roles. Charlton Heston's early years were marked by a love for the arts, particularly acting. Born into a modest family, he spent his formative years in a rural part of Michigan after his family relocated there when he was young. His interest in theater began in high school, where he participated in school plays and local productions. This passion led him to pursue drama at Northwestern University, where he honed his acting skills and immersed himself in the world of stage performances. His early experiences in theater provided the foundation for his later success in film, shaping his approach to acting and preparing him for the diverse and challenging roles that would define his career. After serving as a radio operator and aerial gunner in the United States Air Force during World War II, Heston returned to the United States to pursue his acting career in earnest. His post-war return coincided with the rise of television, which provided him with opportunities to showcase his talent in various productions. In the early 1950s, Heston transitioned from television to film, quickly establishing himself as a serious actor. His early film roles demonstrated his versatility and ability to portray complex characters, but it was his work in historical epics that would ultimately define his career. Charlton Heston became widely known for his work in epic films, where his commanding screen presence and physicality made him an ideal choice for roles that required both strength and gravitas. His breakthrough role came in Cecil B. DeMille's 1956 biblical epic, The Ten Commandments, where he portrayed Moses. The film, a grand retelling of the biblical story of the Exodus, featured Heston in one of his most iconic performances. His portrayal of Moses, with its intensity and moral conviction, resonated with audiences and critics alike, propelling him to stardom. 3 years later, Heston took on the role of Judah Ben-Hur in the epic historical drama Ben-Hur, 1959, directed by William Wyler. The film was a massive critical and commercial success, and Heston's performance earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor. Ben-Hur went on to win a record 11 Oscars, making it one of the most decorated films in cinema history. Heston's portrayal of the Jewish prince-turned-slave, seeking vengeance against the Roman Empire, was praised for its emotional depth, physicality, and the complexity he brought to the character. The film's iconic chariot race scene remains one of the most memorable moments in cinema, showcasing Heston's dedication to his craft and his willingness to perform dangerous stunts. Heston's ability to portray historical and biblical figures with authority extended beyond these two roles. He continued to appear in epic films throughout the 1960s, including El Cid, 1961, where he played the medieval Spanish hero, and The Agony and the Ecstasy, 1965, in which he portrayed Michelangelo. In each of these films, Heston brought a sense of authenticity and gravitas to his characters, making him the go-to actor for grand historical narratives. In addition to historical epics, Charlton Heston found success in the science fiction and action genres, particularly in the 1960s and 1970s. One of his most memorable performances during this period was in Planet of the Apes, 1968, where he played astronaut George Taylor. The film, which became a cultural phenomenon, showcased Heston's ability to adapt to different genres and deliver a powerful performance in a completely fictional and futuristic setting. His famous line, "Take your stinking paws off me, you damned dirty ape," became one of the most quoted lines in film history. Heston also starred in The Omega Man, 1971, a post-apocalyptic thriller based on Richard Matheson's novel I Am Legend. His portrayal of Robert Neville, one of the last human survivors of a global pandemic, reflected his strength as a leading man in the science fiction genre. The film cemented Heston's reputation as an actor who could tackle a wide variety of roles, from biblical epics to dystopian futures. Throughout the 1970s, Heston continued to appear in a variety of action-packed films, including disaster movies such as Earthquake, 1974, and Airport 1975, 1974. His status as a box office draw remains strong, and his presence in these films helped to elevate them to commercial success. Beyond his career in film, Charlton Heston was a passionate advocate for social and political causes. In the 1960s, he became involved in the civil rights movement, marching alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and using his platform to speak out against racial segregation. Heston's commitment to equality was evident in his participation in the 1963 March on Washington, where he stood with other prominent actors and activists in support of the movement. Later in life, Heston's political views shifted toward conservatism, and he became a vocal advocate for gun rights. In the 1990s, he served as the president of the National Rifle Association, NRA, a role that brought him significant attention and controversy. His famous declaration, "From my cold, dead hands," during an NRA rally, became a rallying cry for Second Amendment supporters. Despite the polarizing nature of his political stance, Heston remained steadfast in his beliefs and used his celebrity to influence public discourse on issues he felt passionate about. In 2002, Heston publicly announced that he had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Despite his declining health, he remained active in his later years, continuing to advocate for the causes he believed in and making occasional public appearances. He passed away on April 5, 2008, at the age of 84. Sophia Loren and Charlton Heston, two legendary figures in the film industry, crossed paths during the height of their careers. Both were admired for their talent, charisma, and larger-than-life screen presence, yet behind the scenes, things were not always as glamorous as they seemed. A lesser-known but intriguing part of Hollywood history revolves around the strained relationship between these two icons. Sophia Loren, known for her beauty, grace, and powerful performances, had a career that spanned decades. She worked with some of the biggest names in the industry and was admired by millions. However, her experience working with Charlton Heston left a bitter taste. While fans and moviegoers saw a polished and dynamic pairing on screen, Loren privately harbored deep resentment toward Heston, a sentiment that was carefully concealed from the public for many years. The reason for her animosity was both surprising and complex, revealing the challenges and difficulties that can exist behind the scenes in Hollywood. To understand the root of Sophia Loren's secret hatred for Charlton Heston, it's important to delve into their personalities and the context of the era in which they worked. Heston, a towering figure in Hollywood, was known for his authoritative roles in films like Ben-Hur, The Ten Commandments, and Planet of the Apes. He often played stoic, heroic figures, and off-screen, he was equally commanding, with strong political and social views. Heston's commitment to his craft was undeniable, but his intensity on set and his sometimes overbearing demeanor could rub colleagues the wrong way. While many praised him for his professionalism, others found his dominating presence difficult to deal with. Sophia Loren, by contrast, had a reputation for being warm, down-to-earth, and charismatic. She was beloved not only for her acting talent but also for her vibrant personality, which seemed to light up any room she entered. Loren, coming from a background of poverty in Italy, had fought her way to the top with grace and resilience. She had worked with a variety of directors and actors, navigating the complexities of the film industry with her own set of principles. Loren's approach to acting and life was far more collaborative and congenial, which clashed with Heston's more rigid, authoritative style. The tension between the two reached its peak during the filming of El Cid, 1961, a historical epic in which they co-starred. While the film itself went on to become a critical and commercial success, the atmosphere on set was reportedly tense. According to industry insiders and some who worked on the film, Heston's demanding nature and controlling attitude created friction between him and Loren. He was reportedly difficult to collaborate with, often dictating scenes and giving unsolicited advice about how others, including Lauren, should approach their roles. This clashed with Lauren's sense of autonomy and respect for personal space, leading to an unspoken rivalry. One of the pivotal moments that reportedly solidified Lauren's disdain for Heston occurred during a particularly challenging scene. Heston, ever the perfectionist, insisted on numerous takes, believing that Lauren's performance wasn't up to par. His critique, though perhaps well-intentioned, was delivered in a manner that Lauren found condescending. Being an established actress herself, Lauren was offended by Heston's arrogance and dismissive attitude toward her talent. For someone who had risen from humble beginnings and carved out her own space in a male-dominated industry, being belittled by Heston struck a particularly painful chord. Additionally, the cultural differences between Lauren and Heston played a significant role in the tension. Lauren's Italian background and Mediterranean sensibilities contrasted sharply with Heston's all-American persona. Heston's rigid, almost militaristic approach to acting was alien to Lauren's more fluid, emotional style, which was deeply rooted in her Italian heritage. She found his approach cold and overly calculated, while he may have perceived her method as too spontaneous or undisciplined. This cultural divide only deepened the chasm between them, making it difficult for the two to see eye to eye. Over time, Lauren's resentment toward Heston grew, though she kept it hidden from the public eye. As a consummate professional, she never let her personal feelings interfere with the job at hand. On screen, they delivered powerful performances, but off-screen, Lauren carried a grudge that would last for years. It was a well-guarded secret, known only to a few close confidants, as Lauren didn't want to tarnish her public image or appear unprofessional. After all, Hollywood was a small world, and reputations were fragile. The reason Lauren secretly hated Charlton Heston may shock those who have admired their on-screen chemistry, but it serves as a reminder of the complexities that often lie beneath the surface in the world of filmmaking. Personalities, egos, and creative differences can clash, even among the most celebrated stars. Despite their professional success together, the relationship between Sophia Loren and Charlton Heston was one marked by tension, frustration, and an underlying animosity that remained hidden from the adoring eyes of their fans.